everyone. So today I'm going to take a look at how to make a lead synth. It's kind of house, Swedish house type style. But before I get into it, a couple of things. I'm getting closer to the magic number 500 likes on my Facebook page, and when I hit that number I'm going to upload the Tiesto reason file for the last two Tiesto tutorials I done. So I think there's about 140 or 30 to go until I get to 500. And also I have hit 1,000 followers on SoundCloud, so thanks very much if you're one of them. I did say I would upload a free download once I've hit 1,000. I'm currently still working on it, but it should be up tomorrow, if not Thursday by the latest. So yeah, that's all the news for now, so just get making this synth. And by the way, the melody you heard in the start there was from Marco V and Marcelo Wood's new collaboration. It's called Scream. The synth is an exact replication of their sound, but it's just to give you an idea of how to make this kind of sound. And it's quite easy to tweak and make your own. So, start off with a combinator, and then go ahead and make for synthesizer. Initialize patch, and then show programmer. Make sure the keyboard mode is on mono legato, and turn the portamento on, and you want the value down at 36. So, oscillator 1, you're going to want to make an multi-oscillator. Leave it sawtooth and turn the octave up to 5. Tune you're going to want to touch up to 2. The detune mode you're going to want at random 2, and the amount of detune you're going to want at 36. And then oscillator 2, another multi-oscillator. Sawtooth again, but this time the octave we're going to leave at 4. And the tune we're going to bring down to -2 this time. Detune mode, random 2 again, and amount at 36 as well. And then the final oscillator, we're going to make a noise oscillator. We're going to turn it to static, and then turn the noise modulation up to a value of 127, so right up. And then just go ahead and route the third oscillator to this filter. Gonna leave the second oscillator on because I only had the oscillator 1 and 3 in the example I showed you at the start. But you can turn this on and off, automate it on to get a kind of deeper sound. That's up to yourself. So it's good to have, and you can use it if you want, and you don't have to use it if you don't want. So move on to the mixer. You're going to want the 1 and 2 oscillator balance at 39. So you're going to want more of oscillator 1 coming through if you're using oscillator 2 with it. And oscillator 3 you are going to want to bring down to -16.1. And then we'll just move on to the filter. You're going to want a low pass ladder filter. Turn it to 6 and turn the frequency right up. The resonance right down. Envelope amount you're going to want at 49. Velocity you're going to want at 95. And then turn this right up. Yeah, so then filter envelope. Attack right down. Decay you're going to want at 705 milliseconds. Sustain right up, and the release right down. Then for the amp envelope, you're going to want the attack right down again. The decay this time you're going to want at 1.5 seconds. And the sustain you're going to want right up, and the release all the way down. And that's it for the actual synth programming. So I'm going to add some processing now to liven the sound up a bit. So we're going to use 2 EQs. So create the first one, turn on the low cut, Going to use the low shelf, param 1, and the high shelf. So for the low shelf, you're going to want the frequency touched ever so slightly down to 133.4, the gain right the way down, and you're going to leave the Q where it is. The reason we're filtering out a lot of the low end is because this is a lead sound, but you can use this sound as well as a bass sound. By playing the notes you maybe an octave lower, and if you want to do that, maybe you don't want to cut out as much bass, or maybe you even want to boost the bass, but that's completely up to you. But for a lead, it's good to kind of get rid of all the frequencies that you don't need, so they're not, clogging up the mix, and you'll lose your bass and other things. So if you're using it as a lead, I would suggest cutting out the bass. Anyway. Param 1, you're going to want the frequency at 543. The gain, you're going to want at minus 2.3 decibels. And the Q at 2.8, so bring that down. Then the high shelf, you're going to want the frequency all the way down. The gain up to 6.9. And the Q all the way down. Then for the second EQ, turn the low cut on again. This time we're going to use the low shelf, param 1, and param 2. So this time you're going to want the low shelf down to 83.8 Hertz. The gain you're going to want all the way down and leave the Q where it is again. Param 1 you're going to want at 7.464. So up to 7,000 and then 464. Gain at 2.9 decibels and the Q all the way down. Oh, sorry, I'm doing that on the wrong. My bad, just reset that. So gain at 2.9 and the Q down. And then for param 2, you're going to want to turn the frequency all the way up. You're going to want to turn the gain to 6.6. And you're going to want to turn the Q all the way down. So now we're going to add a digital vocoder. Make sure you turn it to equalizer, otherwise you won't hear anything. Bring the frequency band down to 4, and the shift you're going to want to touch up to 13. And that's that. Then screen for distortion unit. You're going to want to turn the body and the cut off. Turn the algorithm to tape. The damage control you're going to want to bring down to 36. Param 1 you are going to want at 127 and param 2 at 0. And the master touch up to 111. And that's all you're going to do there. Now we're going to add a maximizer and a compressor. So I'll start with the maximizer. Turn on the 4 millisecond look ahead. The input gain you're going to want to turn up to 4.1. The attack you're going to want at mid, and the release you're going to want at fast. And that's all you're going to do here. So then M-class compressor. Input gain you're going to want at 1.9 decibels. Threshold you're going to want at minus 4. Minus 4.8. The ratio you're going to want at 2.34 over 1. And the attack at 19 milliseconds. Release at 205, sorry. and output gain touch up slightly to 1.5. And then last couple of things we're going to do is just add 2 reverb units. The first one we're going to add is the RV7 digital reverb. I'm going to change the algorithm to small room, and the size you're going to want at -14, and the decay you're going to want at -64, so right the way down. The damp you're going to want at 75, so the high frequency in the reverb is kind of being dampened, it's not quite as piercing. And then we just want a little bit of this coming through, just adds a bit of space, another dimension. So we're going to bring the dry wet down to 11. And that's all we're going to do for this one. Then finally, last thing, we're going to create a RV7000 advanced reverb. You're going to want the EQ on, you're going to want the decay set to 24. You're going to want the high frequency damp at 36. And then the high EQ you're going to want at 21. And the dry wet down to 24. And then hit show programmer. Make sure it's on plate. The low frequency damp you're going to want at 93 Hz. And the pre-delay you're going to want at 14. Then click the EQ tab, and you're going to want the low gain at -18 decibels. Don't want any of the low reverb in here. And the frequency you're going to want at 59. So it's just kind of rolling off a little bit of the sub reverb frequencies. Actually, we're going to leave that at 80. So 80. Then you're going to want the high frequency gain at 5.1, and you're going to want to turn the frequency up to 2.972. And the Q for the high reverb you're going to want at 0.7. And that is your synth. So it's kind of Swedish house leads. I mean, you can use it any way you want, but it's heard quite a lot nowadays in house music and progressive house. Couple of things you can do to change it is turn on octave 2, oscillator 2. You can also use it as a bass synth, doesn't have to be a lead synth. And changing the portamento amount or changing it to mono retrig will get you different sounds as well. Yeah, otherwise just experiment. You can change the reverbs, add delays, whatever you want. You can add more distortion. So yeah, just have fun with it really. So thanks for watching again, guys. As I said, the Tiesto files for my last 2 Tiesto tutorials will be uploaded as soon as I've hit 500 likes on my Digital Switchover music page on Facebook. It's getting quite close, so if you haven't already, head over there. I'll put a link in the description. And also, I'll be uploading a free download, which will be on SoundCloud, but you'll be able to get the download link from my Facebook page, hopefully tomorrow, if not Thursday. But yeah, we'll see how it goes today. So, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.